away.
What?
The little record thing. There you go. So today we're going to be talking about writing function rules. The first thing that you're going to want to do in a story problem is define the what, Sienna?
Oh, the dependent variable.
The what?
Dependent variable.
The dependent variable. Yeah, what it's going to depend on something else. So that's also called the output. The next thing that you're going to do is figure out, go ahead and write number 2. Because then you're going to have to find out what is the variable inside the problem. So write that. What's the variable or just write a variable inside the problem.
Okay.
What is the variable inside this problem? Say again, you know? Kira? X? It'll always be x because it's y equals mx plus b. But what is it for? What is the x for?
How many minutes?
Yeah, how many minutes? Perfect. We don't know how many minutes you're going to be on. Every different month it could be different. So in this case, it's how many minutes that we are on the phone for. I then would go through this whole problem and say it is the monthly cost, and that equals $2.95 plus the cost per minute plus the number of minutes or times the number of minutes that I was on the phone. Then I would write a rule. Y equals 2.95x plus 0.1x. I would flip those two around though.
So that it's in slope.
Yeah, so it's in slope intercept form. So I'd write it as y equals 0.1x plus 2.95. Because then you'll know that the y-intercept is what? You right there. What's the y-intercept?
The y-intercept is
2.95, and then I would know that the slope is what, Courtney?
the slope is 0.1x.
Which means what? And it's not x, it's not 0.1x. It's just 0.1. And what does that mean on my graph? That means every time I go up 0.1, I'm going to go to the right 1 minute. So every time it goes up 1/10, it goes to the right 1. That's what that means. What's my question? Is this proportional? That's a good question.
Yes.
No, it is not proportional. Why is it not proportional, Caden?
Isn't it because the increase of
No.
No, the line doesn't go through the origin.
Yes, the line will not go through the origin.
Oh yeah, because you start at
It'll go
295
through
per month.
295, so it's not going to go through the origin. Yay.
Can we graph that?
Anyways, no, the correct answer is B. And the initial
Actually,
value
I already had it.
is also known as the what? Potty.
Dependent variable. No.
No, the dependent variable was the number of minutes that we were on the phone for. That was not our initial value. The initial value was 295. What's another name, do you think, for initial value? Dean.
For when you have.
No.
Didn't let me finish.
There's nothing to finish. You started it out wrong.
So what does that mean? If I just say it a different way than what you say, I still could be right.
How would you say y-intercept in a different way?
Numbers
are
y.
So the initial value is also known as the y-intercept when you're graphing it. Okay. And then
The letter
what
after
is
X
the rate of change? What's
Yeah.
another name for rate of change,
Y.
Dean? See if you can redeem yourself. What's another name for rate of change, Dean? Oh, Ellie.
The x-axis.
No. Hottie.
Interest.
No. Hunter. You know. Rise over run, which is the slope. Yes. Okay.
How does he just do that? You just call him and then he knows.
I can feel his brain waves. I knew that he knew.
Okay.
Pause it and go to the next page.
Wait, what was it?
Okay, move the brown box and then also click that arrow up so that way it's not over the words. All right. So an orchestra buys. Oh, I thought it was an orchestra boy the whole time. I was like, that's weird. Okay. An orchestra buys stamps for $42 each with $298 in its bank account. Write a function rule that shows how the account balance depends on the number of stamps bought, what are the initial values, and the rate of change in the function. I am going to be more strict than the book. I would have marked Dean's wrong, because Dean wrote it like the book did, and it had, y equals any variable, I don't care, but the variable equals 298 minus 42 times m, or whatever variable he used.
M.
Okay, so I would mark that wrong because it's not slope-intercept form. I want it to be in y equals mx plus b form. So it would be y, Miley, write this down, equals wrong one, the triangle.
That's okay.
Y equals negative 42x. So if you don't have it written this way in your notes, write it this way in your notes. That way you have it. Y equals negative 42x plus 298. Then the other part of the assignment that you're going to get graded on, and I remember some of you guys missed the input-output question. There's 3 points to this problem when you get it on Monday. And that is that you have the equation written correctly. And then it's going to ask you, what's the initial value? And Courtney, what's the initial value in this story problem?
298.
Good. So if you guys want to abbreviate it and just write like IV, that's okay. You don't have to write it all out, but the initial value is 298. So if you get a problem like this, which you will on Monday, that's what I'm going to expect to see. And then the next question it asks is rate of change. So if you want to do RC for rate of change, what is the rate of change, Heidi?
298. Or no, 42.
Negative 42. So this problem will be worth 3 points. Equation, initial value, rate of change.
Who's gonna be?
What's that? Yeah, that's how you'll have it written on your paper. All right, next, Miley. Ellie.
When are we having our next test?
Excellent point. When Reagan's gonna be gone, I think. I'm pretty sure. So if everything goes with the flow, and when are you gonna be gone? Because I was looking when
I
I
honestly have no idea. My mother has never told me. She's just like, hey, we're
She
going
hasn't
on.
told you.
No, she's like, hey, we're going on a trip, okay? And then she was like, I'll email it.
I don't think it's next week. I think it's the week after.
Where are you
Not
going?
That's the
Wednesday.
same thing for
I'm
me.
going to
So
a
this
place.
stuff
So
will.
you'll miss the
Yes.
test.
Well,
Yes.
yes.
You're going this stuff will be on our test. Do you want me to shut off the recording?
Where are you going? Morgan, where are you going?
Florida.
Keep recording it?
You also make it a table that you have to write a function rule for. So for this, on this one, it's like for step 1, Miley, I would write. Actually, just put a 1 next to what they did. Find the slope. That's what I always do first. Try to find the slope. Remember, slope is also the rate of change. You guys remember finding rate of changes on tables?
Yep.
So it's just going to be y minus y over x minus x. So they did 7 minus 10 over 2 minus 0 and simplified it. So the rate of change here, and you can write that down if I don't already have it written there, which I do not, is negative 3 over 2. And you can use any 2 points. Miley, why don't you use, for the y's, just while you guys are cutting this out and writing it, negative 2 and 1. So put negative 2 minus 1. We're just going to erase that.
Okay. It's not like
Minus 1 over, and since I use negative 2 first, I have to use 8 first. So 8 minus 6. So negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And 8 minus 6 is 2. So no matter what 2 values you use, it's always going to be the same rate of change. What if I use, let's try for the top value, 1 minus 4. No, 1 minus 7. I want to use 2 not right next to each other. And we're just going over a bunch of different examples while you're writing the one out. You don't have to write any of them out except for what was already typed on there. Just right now we're on number 1, yeah, for find the slope.
1 minus 7.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to write like find the slope or the
Find the slope and then 7 minus 10, 2 minus 0 equals negative 2. And since I used 1, I have to use 6. So 6 minus 2. So 1 minus 7 is negative 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. And that simplifies to negative 2. So it does not matter as long as you're consistent which y's you use and which x's you use. It will always simplify to the same rate of change or the same slope. So that's step 1, getting the slope. Step 2 is finding the y-intercept. This one is easy because it has a 0 for the x. Some of them there won't be one and there'll be other math to do, but in this case, since there's a 0 on the table, what is the y when x is 0? Sienna? Yeah, 10, good. So the y-intercept is just 10. So if I were to go ahead and erase your slope examples, if I were to write that as an equation, I'm going to have what they have there, y equals negative 3 over 2x. So that would be the last thing I want you guys to write down for this one. Y equals, circle it finally, if they need to write. Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 10. The y-intercept is 10. The slope is negative 3 over 2. Will you pause it and give them a chance to catch up? All right, so out of this table that's super teeny tiny, I want you guys to type in, and you're gonna pause it before you click play. I'm gonna have you guys type in the slope. Find the slope. So pause it and then do. Okay, so y minus y. Did most of you guys do 9 and 4.5?
Yeah.
Okay, so do 9 minus 4.5. Which is what, you guys?
4.5.
4.5. So it'd be 4.5. Yeah. Oh.
I think I got it.
Over the x's, which would be 6 minus 3. And what's 6 minus 3?
3.
3. Now those are not whole numbers, so I need them to be whole numbers. Let's just multiply them both by 2, because I know if I multiply by 2, that's going to give me 2 whole numbers. So because 4.5 times 2 is, it's 4.5 times 2, 9, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Those are called, that's why you guys learned equivalent fractions.
I was
Back
trying
in
to say
life,
9/6, but then I put like a little like underneath the thing.
But not 9/6, because I can simplify that to what?
3.
3
over-
I mean 3 over 2.
Yes.
3 over 2.
3 over 2 is the what, Emma?
Y-axis?
Oh my
Improper size.
It's the slope.
Slope.
That's
Oh,
slope.
you
Good
just
job.
shout it out, Ellie.
It's the slope. Also known as the what, Giancarlo? Also known as the what?
Variable.
Megan. No, rate of change. Good. So we did step 1. Step 2, find the y-intercept. Press record. Is there any, actually, I'm going to see if you guys don't press record. I'm going to see if you guys can, go ahead and pause it.
I didn't.
We already got the slope. Now we are going to get the y-intercept. And when there is no 0, like I was just so easily telling Paige and Megan how easy it is, because when there's a 0 for x, that y is the y-intercept. And then I give you a table with no 0 in it. What you can do is, here's slope-intercept form equation. Y equals mx plus b. Do I know the m now?
Yeah.
What is
That's
it?
the slope, so it's 3 over 2.
Okay, so this is 3 over 2.
X.
Do I know any other variables? I do. I can put
You know
any
that X is.
ordered parent for x and y. I can put any of these in. I'm going to use 2 whole numbers. I'm going to use 6 for x and 9 for y. So then you can just work on getting b all by itself. Are there any common factors that I can divide out with this fraction problem?
No.
Yes, 2 goes into itself once, and it is 6 3 times. What is 3 times 3, Kira? 9.
6. 10. Who said 6?
Micah.
Then what would I do? I'm still trying to get b all by itself.
It would just be 1.
Well, are you
You would
sure?
subtract 9 from each side.
I would subtract 9 from each side.
Oh.
But they don't have
I was right. It was 0.
Did you think it was?
Yeah, I thought it was
zero?
0 because it's proportional. It's proportional.
Where did you see that it was proportional?
How can it be 0?
Okay, so my final equation before I press record,
It is
I am recording before I press pause, is y equals 3 over 2x.
Plus 0.
But I don't have to write plus 0. I could also write this as a decimal. Since it is inches of snow, it's weird to think about 3 over 2 inches of snow every hour. So instead, maybe it would be better to write this one as y equals 1.5x as my equation. That might make more sense.
Is that
Let's see if I even got the right close to my answer. Okay, woo.
Should I stop recording?
Yeah, go ahead, stop recording.
I'm never gonna. I'm not that excited. Okay, well,
Why would I be excited?
don't worry, I wasn't excited.
Press record because this is amazing. I don't want you guys to get too excited, but not only can you find an equation from a story problem, not only can you find an equation from a table, but you can write an equation from a graph.
No way.
More graphy, yay!
This is all just about writing equations. Y equals mx plus b. Okay.
why can you
So
like remember
confused.
words to songs like so easily, but like you can't remember this?
Yeah, like there was a song in Miles City. It was like y equals mx plus b something.
B is the y-intercept. You'll see.
Yeah.
M is
Yeah. What's
needless
that word?
vocab.
Kira, it's lyrical memory.
Alright.
It's a song.
At least I printed these out so you don't have to write down all the examples.
Thank
I
you,
was trying to be
guys.
nice and
Thank you. No, but seriously, once you say
Malik is a car salesman. He earns a base salary and a commission for each car he sells. Anybody's parents in your car salesman?
My stepdad.
Dad or mom?
your dad.
What if I know someone that's a car salesman?
My secret, my stepdad.
Lily's grandfather. Why didn't he try to study? Is Ethan the one that was in Batman?
I hope not.
That would be you guys quietly glue it into your journal. So he's a car salesman. He earns a base salary. So every it doesn't say how the time is. So he earns a base salary and he also earns commission on every single car that he sells. Y equals ms plus b. They graphed it. What is the y-intercept of that line? Emma.
10,000.
10,000. So Paige, what variable in y equals mx plus b is 10,000 going to be? Not y.
B.
Shush, I'm asking Paige.
Paige is an answer.
Okay. B is always the y-intercept. So we know we have one. What's the other thing, Megan, that we need to get?
Hold on, I just had it slow.
The slope. Good. And what variable is the slope, Janelle?
X.
No. Y. The m. Okay. So to get the slope, it's still changing y over changing the x. So you can take 2 points that you see very clearly on the line, and you can either count the rise over the run, or you can just subtract it. When it's a graph like that, it's usually easier to count. But when you're in like the 10,000s, I don't know, maybe it's not easier. So 14,500 minus 10,000 is 4,500. And then 6 minus 0 is 6. So that equals 750 if you simplify it all the way. Our final equation is y equals 750x plus So, when you're writing, I want you to write slope. And then go ahead and write down this subtraction problem right here, 14,500 minus 10,000, and then 6 minus 0. That is that, which simplifies to that. And then, on your graph, just circle the y-intercepts. I don't know why it doesn't write over here. Yours wasn't either. Oh, it's writing there, but not there. There.
Can we find the?
Wait, you want to try to slope then that, and then circle that, and then write the whole equation of y equals 750x plus
Whoa.
10,000.
Is that because they divided 4,000?
And then write the, oh, you wrote that, I had it put in. And then circle the 10,000 and point to that or something to show that that is how you find the y-intercept. Because later when you're looking in your notes, you're going to be like, how did I even get that?
Missy, don't you think this is a good idea? Yeah.
Okay, so next graph, right here, I would like you guys to try and write an equation for that. You should have it on your paper, so you should be able to see where the little markings are. Miley's gonna pause it and then do the, Miley. Okay, so I'm gonna explain it one more time. We circled the 9 right here and showed that that's the y-intercept. So draw an arrow to the 9 in your equation there. That's where we got the 9 from in our equation. Then model the slope. Remember I told you the slope is just a triangle on that line. And it goes down 1 and to the right 2. You can do it anywhere on your line. Just go down 1 to the right 2. Circle it and draw a line to there. Make sure your notes get put away and everything gets cleaned up.